Yo, 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 it is I, the Crusades. We are back with an update on Pulsechain. Alright, if you've not checked out my previous videos, go have a look at them. There's only two. So, yeah, it's worth having a look at them. We go over some pretty cool, interesting stuff. This one we're going to try and make about 10 minutes long, the video, so let's get into it. We'll start on Pulsechain, right? We spoke about these diagonal trend lines, right? I've just took these for the close of the previous, this high point up here, right? Try and follow my cursor. Took them for the close of the wicks up here. Some of them are for the top of the candle bodies. We projected them to the top of this part here. We've not put them to the top of this wick because when the price is higher, that'll make sense, right? I'll show you why. Right, so when they're doing on this part of the candle close on the body, you can see here we spoke about at this point how it held this trend line as support, right? It was bouncing along the top for the most part and it broke out, right? And then we made this, I think the last video was about here as we were coming up to this trend line, right? You can see with this red candle here, it doesn't look much, right? But that's a somewhat confirmation that this is now support. If we go down onto the 4 hourly time frame up here, right, you can see it's held this as support fairly well, right? So obviously we're expecting now to kind of hold this trend line as support, but I want to show you some things that are interesting. We're not worried about these small moves, right? These are pathetic moves when you've been in this for, what, I don't know, I've been in HEX for nearly 6 years, so yeah, I mean, you could call me an OG in a HEX OG. I don't know, I don't really care for these terms, but let's get a little bit more info on Pulsechain here. We'll go into HEX and some others here. Right, first to mention is the RSIs on this part down here. So, yeah, they are split, which isn't the best, but there is other areas of confluence to say that this is going to rip faces to the upside fairly soon. Right, you can see the money flow, the green wave, is starting to head up. Well, it is heading up, right? This blue momentum wave starting to clip, and it's about to head up. The VWAP is heading up, and also if we get a wee bit more info on here. Right, you see these moving averages, see how they're coming together? Right, when this 21 week goes above the 200 week, that's a golden cross. You can see the price is held this 21 week well. So, we're expecting this to blast on through here. There is potentially the possibility that this 21 week comes up to the 200 and rolls back over and creates a double bottom, right? Worst case scenario, or no, the worst case for Pulsechain anyways, it creates the double bottom and then we go up, right? That would be extremely bullish still, right? If it creates a double bottom on the daily on this chart, right? Because this chart has been suppressed for so long. It's not even funny. But yeah, this is coiling up like a spring right now and there's going to be a massive move happening within the next couple of weeks. What I was saying about the 21 week could reverse off that 200 week. Like this, right? See how it comes down like that and it goes down the way. Right, that's like a 30-day move. So that took 30 days for this price to come back above. What I was talking about, the golden cross, that's it there. When the 21 week goes above the 200 week and you have this move. God damn it, man. We shall not use God's name in vain. Right, see here, you had this El Pumperino. So we're expecting something like that here. Right, we could measure it and say, right, what did we have for this golden cross for here? That was a 67% move, roughly. Right. I'm expecting it a wee bit higher because liquidity is being cut in half, pretty much. I'd probably say a 100% move in like a couple of stages. Like, it's not unreasonable. We've seen it before. Pulsechain pumps 50% in one day, 70% in one day. So I'm expecting it to come up to this point here. If it comes to this and it trades above this diagonal trend line, then there's no much resistance in here, right? You've got this area here, whereas if you put trend line here, right, so you could say, right, the price could come back up to this trend line roughly. Like I said, that's a 100% move up to here. So yeah, massive move coming for Pulsechain, and if it comes for Pulsechain, which is one of the cores, then it's going to come for the whole ecosystem because of Hart's law. Right, so we're going to jump onto incentive token. The reason I'm checking these on TradingView is because I can use Market Cipher on it. And you get a bit more information. So, right here, look at that. Look at the price holding the 21-week moving average. Well, created a bullish engulfing candle on these previous candles, right? Again, look down here. RSIs are split, they're coming together. That's extremely powerful when these come together. Blue momentum wave starting to clip and it'll head back up. You can see it's kind of curving round there. Money flow is starting to head up and the VWAP is heading up. So everything's heading up. Price is beginning to move. If I come back a bit, let's see what kind of a price move you would be talking on this. I mean, it's going to be more than Pulsechain, I would say. Minimum, you'll come up to this trend line. So a 78% move, it'll probably blast on through that to 130%, roughly up to here, to this traded area here. Right, so this green trend line going across here has been a massive, I'm sure it was the, yeah. So when launch, this, I just took that for launch here. So this is an extremely key level, this green horizontal trend line here. Even if it comes up to there, that's like a 50% move or something. Yeah, 50% move. Bang on, near enough. Look at that. And that would be a massive key level. So you need to watch that level. Right, at roughly $2.06. Right. So yeah, extremely bullish. Incentive is looking more bullish than Pulsechain, but obviously all the cores seem to run roughly at the same time. We'll look at HEX. This is p-hex, no e-hex. So get rid of this green trend line for a minute. Right, again, money flow is looking hella bullish. See how it's curved round, that curvature, right? That's what you want to see on these momentum waves and the money flow waves, is this curvature like that. VWAP, nice curvature heading back up. Money flow is about to go into the green as we speak. When this candle closes for today, the next one opens. We're hoping it's coming into the green like this. Hopefully we didn't get some bullshit move like this, right? But as you can see, diagonal trend line is holding exceptionally well. 21-week moving average is holding the price up right now. These moving averages are about to come together. God damn. Right. We'll have to cut the music for a minute because it's on YouTube and we're on an advert. Because I ain't paying for YouTube. That's what I'm saying. Right. So if we come up to here. Top of these candle closes, right? That's a massive area of traded volume. You can see here, it's roughly the same area as all that in here. So if we just put this roughly here, right? See here, most of the candles are closing on this trend line. So say the price was to get a wee pump here, what kind of a move are we looking at? It's going to be about the same, 70% roughly. That's 80%, right? But you're looking at roughly an 80% move on HEX if this plays out. If these play out, you're looking at roughly an 80% move minimum on HEX. Right, but a lot of yous are here probably for pDAI. Oh, pDAI, you have been given wonders. So for the first video, it's up. You got a nice move, 100% move for the first video I made. If you kept holding, you're up 80, say 80% for the first video that we made. Some of us were buying this shit right down here, right? So we're already up 19, 18x or something. That's why it's important to pay attention to this, right? pDAI could have a bit of a retracement here. Could, but even then, the retracement could be 30% or so. I'm looking at roughly, you're already doing 10%. For here, you're looking at potentially another 25-30%. That would put it just in line with the 21-week moving average as it's coming up, right? And the price would hold that, we're hoping would hold that 21-week before we get the next move, creating good price action here, because you want all these areas of liquidity, like the top of this and the top of this, to be confirmed, right? So there's no like sell walls on the top of here. Because these can happen, especially a lot of people hate pDAI for some reason. You've got to respect the pump, as Ivan says, right? 200-week moving average is still a bit higher. That's about a 50% move up to the 200-week moving average. You've got multiple areas that we need to be looking out for though. Because if you go along these trend lines, see how when the price came up to this, it got rejected and it never broke up for about a month. When it did, and it broke through, it went on a 20x move above there. So this is a massive area of resistance that we're coming up to, right? We're actually on top of this area of resistance. We broke above it, so it's actually support. We're hoping that it confirms this area as support, which already did with this massive green engulfing candle here, right? So we're hoping that it comes along, bounces along this top of this green line that we've just drew here and holds it as support. And doesn't break below it, because that would now turn this line into resistance. So, pDAI could have a little bit of retracement, but still hella bullish, right? It's looking amazing. All the cores are looking like they're going to rip faces. I'm going to go to a deck screener right now and show you ICOSA. ICOSA is down like 15% on the day. I mean, ICOSA's got like 17k, yeah, 17k in liquidity, right? It doesn't take a lot of money to pump the shit out of this price. So I would advise, if you want, not financial advice, picking up a small bag of ICOSA. Right? ICOSA's waiting on HEX to pump. So if HEX pumps, ICOSA rips. And as you can see, it's no had a bit of a pump in a while. But when these prices move, they move hard. So even if you bought now, this trend line here, look at that, 200% move back up to this trend line. See, it's been holding it here, here, here. It was hitting off it as resistance though, so it broke through there and it absolute pumpamentaled up to this trend line here. So say it was to break out of this video is already over 10 minutes, but 165%, 170% up to the first trend line. You're looking at 400% move up to this second trend line. Roughly. 400% move. It's worth it. It's worth it. If you're picking up a bag of either Pulsechain, HEX, Incentive, or Pulsechain, I mean, just pick one of them. You can't really lose, right? It's crazy. Especially at this point in the market, and Teddy Bear as well. Right, I didn't put a lot of capital into these ones I just mentioned, like ICOSA and Teddy Bear. You just want to be picking up kind of small bags of these. But look at the 200-week moving average on Teddy Bear, right? This has got a long way to go. These moves are massive, right? Because the liquidity in these is so low. So yeah, there's some insight on what I'm seeing in the markets. I think the whole Pulsechain ecosystem is going to absolutely rip faces in the next couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks or something. We're going to be seeing some crazy price action happening on Pulsechain, unless something happens in the macro. But we'll not talk about that, right? We've been here long enough, right? We want to see some juicy price action coming up soon. So I'll catch you in the next video, folks, alright?